Within 6 miles to Chicago, we got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
So far, Warren Chung has won cash and prizes totaling $3,152. Today, one of our contestants will win a large screen TV, a Rockwell lithograph, an emerald ring, or a trip to Puerto Rico, and continue a journey towards a fortune in cash and prizes, including just Audi and $50,000 in cash. In total, over $100,000 on.
Drew and Mike in the morning.
And now, here's the star of our show.
Drew and Mike on 101 WRIF Detroit.
Right here.
.558 at 101 WRIF Detroit. 21 outside. It's going to be cloudy. Chance of flurries this morning. And scattered light snow, high of about 20 today. Saturday, increasing clouds and a high of about 28. With some snow in the afternoon. And Sunday, high of 22. It's 21 now at WRIF. And today, Ted Danson will be on the show. Becker, of course, another exciting episode Sunday night. Ted, we've had a lot of fun with Ted over the years. I don't know why.
I don't know either. Done like 3 times.
For some reason, we've connected with him. I think it was that Danson tunes, little mix we had for him last time. I think it really freaked him out. I was like, I've never been introduced that way. Really cool. He dug it. Lucy Nolan's coming in. Lucy.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Yeah, why not?
Coming in.
Whatever.
All right.
Bring it, Lucy. Let's see how she... Hey, put her up on Channel 2. Let's see how she dressed. Did she dress up for us?
Skirt or pantsuit. Skirt or pantsuit.
I did not dress up.
Put her up, pop on. Oh, she's on right now. Okay, let's see if she's dressed up for us. Also, we'll talk about, of course, the most bizarre couple hours of television yesterday.
Yikes. Whoa.
That was one freaky television program.
What a great job that dude did.
And the Forever Love guy. We've had a lot of emails and stuff, people saying, hey, whatever happened to the guy's 6 weeks to Valentine's tour? And the Jen and Ben song dude, Forever Love. Vincent James, is that his name? Yeah. We're probably going to call him this morning, beat up on him. Oh, Lucy's looking strong. She is. She dressed up for us.
Yeah, satin top.
Gratuitous Rockstar, thank you for stopping by. Are you ready?
Ready. Thank you, Detroit.
Thank you, sir.
Coolness aside, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you and stuff.
Drew and Mike.
You know, he represents youth, childhood, never growing up, magic, flying, everything I think that children and wonderment and magic, what it's all about.
101 WRIF. Riff. Drew and Mike on the Riff. 101 WRIF Detroit.
It's 10 after 6 at WRIF. 21 degrees. And boy, we have a lot of email this morning.
Why do you do this to me?
Gee, I wonder why.
You.
Oh, man. What a freak.
I know. It's really...
Wow. What a
Really,
terrific job that guy did.
I thought he did a really good job, too. You know, it's weird. At the end of the show, I realized that I'd barely looked at the reporter.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is so strange looking.
Yes.
It's hard to take your eyes off him.
I know.
Yes, they made it up.
Yeah, he is. He's so weird. His eyes are huge. It's so obvious. It's so funny. I only had 2 surgeries only on my nose. And then his nostrils couldn't be smaller. If anything, that would have made his singing quality worse.
You know what? Someone emailed us a picture of, drawing of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
His nose looks just like Jackson's.
That's true. That would be
I think
true.
he wants that nose.
Yeah, it looked like Peter Pan. Yeah, there you go.
I don't think he's bummed out at all.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, it's so obvious. There's got to be like chin implant. You see, like the way his chin is, his jawline, his cheeks. Looks like there's cheek implants, chin implants. God knows, probably everything that he listed. And then it's just the idea that
You're just
this
ignorant.
is my face.
That's the stupidest, dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah. And his lips are so gross. His mouth is gross. His lips are like I don't know, scaly, ruddy, raggedy.
Well, I don't think we need to really
Man, look at that. Well, there's Peter Pan.
gauge how attractive he is or is not. He's pretty disgusting.
He
looking,
really is. His hair's horrible.
The idea
He's
that
awful.
he would do this to himself is just so utterly
know it.
freaky.
Opens up his trust, and now he's just completely freaked out.
Hey, why there aren't any carnies in his backyard? Where are the carnies?
Yeah, who's running
There's just
everything?
that one guy that strapped them into the little
Yeah.
cars, which, by the way, I would like to have those cars.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, but I'd take the governor off. Too slow. Those cars are going
Yeah,
too
they were a little bit slow.
I have no desire to climb his tree of skank either.
Cheating. It's cheating.
God, he looked funny in it. The reporter looked so funny in the car.
I know it. I know. And of course, Michael, let him be first.
You know, I was watching it with Alex, and Alex, of course, was like, God, can anybody go there? Of course, 9 years old.
Yeah,
He's
right.
Totally
You don't know
fired
any
up for
better.
Neverland.
Yeah, right.
Jackson
we'll
wants.
send you there.
Exactly.
I'll stay in the guest house. I know. It's like he must have remote control to all that stuff, because can you imagine him stuck on his own Ferris wheel for like a month? I mean, who's to say? He gets on there. Who's running that stuff?
Isn't that funny, though, that those giant rides exist for
I
him to
know
go
it.
like once a month or
I
whenever
know it.
some kids show up? It's
I
so
know
weird.
It. I know it. And then him, the Pied Piper of brats, and all those thousands of kids were running behind him when he turned the park loose, his backyard loose to him. Remember when we were talking with, who's Bo Derek? They were talking about the lights on the horizon from Neverland.
Yeah, you can see it forever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what is so strange about him? He's just strange in and of himself. But the way people respond to him just blows my mind. Parents who let their kids go there.
Oh,
the parents of this.
come on.
What was the kid's name? Garcia?
Yeah, close enough.
Gavin,
yeah.
This old man pestering for an autograph. I mean, that guy was really badgering him. Like, you're an old man. What do you need his autograph for?
Right.
Then there's a guy that comes up to him in the lounge or in the lobby of, was that Venetian? Where the guy's like,
Yeah.
Hey, I love Ben. Play it on my guitar. Like,
Yeah.
Get out of here, you old.
I know, and that old guy talked with him
idiot.
forever.
And he wants to hug him.
I know it. That was the other thing I was shocked with. I was amazed. I thought he would have had that handkerchief around his mouth, but he was like totally, touching people and all that sort of thing. You know what was weird? How do you like this? The blatant lie when he's trying to find out how much he's worth, and he's like all shy and withdrawn, and and then finally
That's a
he just
jealousy
mumbles out
thing.
and comes out, billion. And then of course afterward, Barbara
That's
Walters
a lie.
comes in.
It's
Yeah,
a total lie. Everyone knows it in the industry.
Exactly. And then Walters comes in, which was great, and she says his estimated worth between $200 and $300 million. And then at the end of the show up on the screen, they said estimated worth $350 million.
Well, that's very
And
important to
when you
him, though. His ego is monstrous. No one could do the things he does and then actually tell the public, look, here's what I'm doing. I don't care if you approve it or not. I've even paid $25 million because I did stuff like this. I'm going to do it because I'm Michael Jackson and nobody tells me what to do. There are no rules that I have to live by in my life.
Yeah.
Well, same thing goes for money. He wants to have the most money, and that's why when McCartney befriended him and tried to help him, hey, get into publishing, buy some songs, whatever. He turned around, stabbed him in the back, and outbid him by $5 million for the Beatle collection.
Unreal.
I mean, what a screw job. I don't think people
Unreal.
realize what a bodacious backstabbing move that was.
Isn't that something? And that was a blatant lie about his finances, a blatant lie. When they walked through that store,
He wants to be the richest. He wants
Absolutely.
everyone to believe he is the richest, wealthiest entertainer.
Exactly.
McCartney just outbid him again. I mean, McCartney's worth more.
They
than
haven't come up.
Jackson.
I don't think they've come up. I don't think he's had a chance to.
Yeah, a chance to turn
There's
around
talks
and get
that
it
there
back.
would be a chance because Jackson had a big debt with Sony Records, but I haven't heard of that happening.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that they were talking about this other store that wasn't featured, where he spent $1.5 million, and that guy was never paid. He was never paid, and that guy has a lawsuit against him. So I
Oh,
was
the
watching,
Sotheby's guy?
Yeah. And then you've got this other situation, where you walk through the store with all the people all out there, and that manager who was just clenching his hands the whole time with the chest set and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that manager was a nervous wreck. If you watch him, his hands are forever clutching. He's probably thinking Jackson has tagged 80% of his inventory, and he may never see the money. And how long is he going to keep the stuff with a sold sign on it? And it's just like...
Well, he doesn't have to give him anything. I mean...
Yeah, and then he went on the other
I think
shopping...
he'd bought stuff there before, though.
Yeah, then he went on the other shopping spree, the guy said, where he spent $6 million. And but $200-300 million, a couple lawsuits. That's a big chunk. That's a big chunk out of his fortune right there.
Well, he's in court all the time. I mean, that I think does tell you what kind of a person he is. And it's easy to take someone to court, but come on.
He doesn't have money to burn like this. I don't think.
There are a lot of celebrities who are equal to him in size, and they're not in court all the time.
No.
Or missed concerts and money taken under false pretenses and products not paid for. He is a law unto himself, and it just disgusts me that that there isn't something someone does about this. The only thing I think can be done, since apparently no one can stop him from sleeping with little boys.
Unbelievable! How blatant!
Something ought to be done to the parents of these kids who put their children at risk. Child Protective Services should come in and say, is that Gavin kid your kid, the one that's holding hands with a 44-year-old man on television?
Wasn't that creepy, the way they were holding hands?
No, it's like they were on a date. The kid had his head on his shoulder. That was disgusting.
I thought that was absolutely, I could have vomited. That was just absolutely sickening. And then Jackson, you notice how quick he was sitting there trying to point out, like, oh, I slept on the floor. Chances are he probably told the kid, we're going to play a little game with a TV camera, and when they ask if we slept together, remember, I'm going to say I was on the floor, and you're going to be in the bed, okay? And that was just a very creepy arrangement. That kid is completely brainwashed by Jackson.
Come on, I'm 12 all over.
And then you got the mother who's staying in the guest house.
Yeah, what are the parents doing in the guest house?
Well, it's ridiculous.
Why are the kids so close with him and not the parents? What a mess he is.
Because that is the final the parents are the final gatekeeper to the thing. Because he can get away with absolutely everything. It's the parents that have to stop it. And knowing this guy's background, why would you ever allow your kid to stay in that,
for money.
That house of horrors?
For money. That's all there is to it.
I guess so. The other weird thing is with those kids, Drew.
Macaulay and Kieran Culkin.
Oh, I know it.
Oh boy.
Oh, brother.
Wow, are those guys limp today?
Oh, you know it. Oh, that was all.
You fagwads. What are you doing sleeping with Jackson?
Oh.
Somebody should get all over their ass.
I know it.
And nice throwing Barry Gibb under the bus, too. I'd let my kid stay with Barry Gibb.
Yeah. How weird did you think it was when he went to feed the baby with the scarf over it?
Oh.
In that moment,
and his feet are going 100 miles an hour?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he seemed to have this bizarre, this weird energy within himself, this nervous energy. Like he seemed, didn't
he's
he
a mess.
seem nervous?
Yeah, he's a mess because
he was
that
out of sorts.
The media was all over him about the kid dangling. He was freaked out. I mean, I think he scares easily.
The feeding of that baby was so bizarre.
What about his kids wearing masks everywhere?
Exactly. Which
That's ridiculous.
Doesn't that tie right back to, here's Michael talking about his background and saying that he wished that when he was performing because of all the cut downs of his adolescent face and so forth, that he could have wore a mask. He's doing the same thing to these kids as has been done to him, basically.
Well, and he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with the fact that the kids have no mother. It's like, hey, Michael, where's kid's mother?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too much for her.
Yeah.
Isn't that bad? Well, then look at all the children brought up without fathers. Nobody says anything.
Right.
He doesn't think those kids need a mother.
Not at all.
What a freak and lunatic.
Exactly.
He doesn't want them to have a mother.
Clearly.
He doesn't want to share those kids. It's all about him and anybody who thinks otherwise. I hope Liz Taylor watched that. And I hope whoever interviews Liz Taylor next, or whoever, all his other stupid friends, I hope they say, so you support this guy that holds hands with 12-year-old kids who has little boys sleeping in his bed. You support this guy.
Yeah, right.
Well, believe me, you're going to see a different tune being played by some of these people. They're going to have to back off because they're the one who've been feeding this fool, knowing what goes on.
Right.
To continue to support him you are part of the crime, if you ask me. Elizabeth Taylor and Barry Gibb. Well, I don't know, Barry Gibb has to do with it, but
yeah. Well, it's amazing how they had to pull that out of him too. It's like when he's asking him, like, when's the last time the mother saw this child and all this sort of thing. Oh, I don't remember. And finally, under intense cross-examination,
I'm no bag.
It gets him to come out and say that the kid was a gift.
What?
A gift.
Yeah.
And then he comes as close as he's going to do to admitting to basically, hey, I had these people that had a kid for me so I could have it by myself as a play toy.
It's 6:21 at WRIF. Is this Andy?
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, what's up?
I caught, the middle of that show last night. That had to have been the most single disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, you're right. That was upsetting, man.
My wife and I just had a baby, and that was the most improper feeding technique I've ever seen, ever. I mean, that kid's going to suffocate, if anything.
Well, the scarf all over his legs going like that. The kid's bouncing all over the place.
Well, I have to say, I don't think he feeds the kid. I think that was for the benefit of the cameras. I think the nanny probably feeds the kid.
Exactly. That's what I told Trish. I said that he looks like a fish out of water doing that.
Yeah, he just decided that he'd show the world what a great father he is.
Amen.
And didn't know what he was doing. And do you see how he's covering the kid's face, too, when he's feeding him?
Blew me away.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Horrible. Speaking of faces, his face so reminds me of the faces on those, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, that Jim Carrey movie. He looks like one of those characters right out of that movie.
Well, I wish someone would do something about this.
Well, remember...
And, there are people in law enforcement out there who are... He's in their jurisdiction. Why they wouldn't be at his doorstep at 10 o'clock last night is beyond me.
Yeah, and remember, we're all off because it's us whites that, want to be black because we're suntanning, and all the suntan cream and all that.
Yeah,
so.
that has nothing to do with it. No one's even judging him. They're just saying, well, you're white. You should be black. What's up?
Exactly.
That's all. It's not an unreasonable question. He always thinks everyone's asking him unreasonable questions.
Look at Thriller and look at you now.
Is this Chris?
Yep.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Did you check out the little boy's hair on top? It looked like it was dyed.
Oh, the blonde-haired kid?
Yeah, he had dark roots on the top. When he bent down, you could see real dark roots.
Oh, is that right? Did anybody else notice that?
I didn't.
I thought it was just a blonde-headed kid.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, check it out.
Is there anything wrong with dyeing a kid's hair? I mean, don't kids do that now? I mean, not that I would do it.
I know, but he was so little.
Yeah, well.
The kid was what, 5 or 6?
6, I think.
I know. I see people with, you see kids with pierced stuff. They're 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's right. Of course, when you dye, you can do the dye that washes out of your hair, but that wouldn't be the same thing, would it? If the roots are just bad.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it surreal, too, at the zoo? I thought he made a great point at the zoo, how Jackson really is trying to live his past, that when everything was great and he was the king of pop and everybody, all this adoration and crowds by the millions everywhere he went, and the fact that him embracing those crowds, wanting those crowds, and how it really was the guy doing the interview that was protecting the kid in that throng of people. Wasn't that interesting? Where he's like, Jackson wasn't doing anything.
I can't take that chance.
Do you believe that? Like he said, like the kids almost ended up trampled at the zoo.
Miserable experience.
And Jackson was doing nothing to watch over those kids at the zoo. He was involved in himself.
Well, if anybody has the idea that there's ever a moment in his life where he doesn't come first, I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he's able to even have any kind of empathy or think in anyone's mind or put himself in anyone else's shoes. I think it's absolutely impossible for him. Is this Eric?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Hey, man.
Not much. Go ahead.
Did you buy that story about him taking the baby directly after it was born right home, running out of the hospital?
Well, no, I don't believe that. I think someone ought to be investigating that. That's another one where if that hospital did that, someone should be out of a job.
You got
it. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
I can't imagine, but who knows?
Well, if it's
got
real,
enough money.
No, but we were saying that let's have somebody investigate that. Find the hospital, find the people that were there at the time, and let's verify that because that really needs to be looked into.
What a freak, man.
Oh.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I missed the first 20 minutes, half hour of it. But
did you find that you couldn't stop watching no matter how hard you might want?
Yeah, because I can't stand that kind of stuff, but you just got stuck. It's like, what is next, man?
It was done so well.
That's
it
really
was
freaky.
done so well.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
All right, go ahead.
Hey, I just want to let you know you guys are great. I have some friends down in Texas, and they listen to you guys off the net every morning on their way to work.
Oh, great. That's really nice.
Hey, but I wanted to comment on this. I watched the whole thing with my wife, both shows, and I'm black. My wife is white. We have 3 beautiful kids that are biracial. And the question that I had when I saw the kids, they look more white than what you could see, more white than black. You didn't see too many black features like the hair. My daughters,
It's BS. They made it up.
Like mine, but it has mix of their mother in as well. But those kids' hair was pretty much straight and blonde.
Well,
I can't believe that he has anything to do with those kids.
Well, and you heard him say that he claims that the one child had a black mother.
Oh, I know. That's
he
so
says
funny.
a black mother, and he's like, "Oh, come on!" And
There is no way. Not with hair like that. Because I'm gonna tell you, my hair, it's about as nappy as they come. There is no way. Don't have no black feature in them whatsoever.
See, Mark, if you were in his position and you had the kind of money he has, and you had flaunted the law in as many ways as he had, you're literally telling the nation you're abusing children, you're having 12-year-olds in your bed, and no one does anything about it. You would think that anyone would believe anything you said.
No. I mean, you think about it.
No, if you were him, I mean, you have to put yourself in his mindset, if that's even remotely plausible. He thinks if he says it, it can be true.
Oh,
he
most
told the
definitely.
nation last night he's abusing children. He told the entire nation that he is a child abuser.
Yep.
And he knows the rules.
Of course.
He's not that insulated.
Of course.
Excuse me.
He knows. That's why he went out of his way to talk about how he slept on the floor with a cancer
It's
kid.
just like when he was under fire for this back in '93. He started holding Child magazine out the window. That's his
Right.
way of flaunting it. He loves this.
Yes, he does. He certainly does.
It's just, I like his music, especially growing up, but now it's just he's just getting a little on the weird side.
A little.
He's out of hand.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
Go ahead.
Hey.
You're on the air.
Hey, this is Dan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dan.
Hey, I'm just, I was wondering, how come, who in their right mind goes to Vegas, gets a damn hotel room, and uses one of them handicap cars to drive up and down the damn hallway?
Oh, how corny was that, huh?
You know, it's funny. I still got a Vegas Jones when he was in Vegas. I still, I want to go to Vegas.
Yeah. But you're right. What a stupid little thing to be driving around the hallways. And how would you like to live underneath that particular suite, with all those games and racket? And...
I could see somebody in Vegas doing it, but not sober.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I could see Riley driving down the hallway in a rascal.
Well, that's those things in Kmart, for the people 80 years old with a basket on it.
The funny thing is, he's in Vegas in this Four Seasons suite, and he doesn't even gamble.
No. Can you imagine him trying to gamble?
Does he travel with the Green Giant? Or is that something he buys when he's there?
I don't know. How dumb when he went,
Giant. So stupid.
Did you see that dress that was hanging?
Yes.
Yes.
What was that all about?
It's like a maid uniform.
Yeah, but they made it look like that was his.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
don't
not a hanger.
know. Can you imagine what must go on?
Dan, was there anything else?
No, that's it, buddy.
Yeah, thanks
You
for
guys rock, man.
Thank you. Hey, Greg.
Hey, guys.
How you doing? You're calling about Gavin, his little friend?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed it. I sat there and I thought, Drew might have to notice this. But the look on his face when he's leaning against Michael, he's like a homo face.
He's like romantic with him.
It's like a homo expression.
Exactly.
Yes, they made it up.
Yeah, the way they're holding hands, and as Drew was saying, the way the child is leaning against his shoulder. It's
you don't hold hands with a 12-year-old boy. Maybe if you're crossing the street or something, and the kid's feeble or it's some kind of dangerous environment, you don't hold a kid's hand like that.
through an interview, and the hands are. Oh, did you see how tight they were clasped?
Joe.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right.
Show.
Thanks.
There is no way that those kids came from his gene pool.
Oh no, God no.
No features, no nothing. Because I told my wife, I said, don't look at Michael the way he is now, but the way he was born.
Right.
As a black kid.
Right.
And there's nothing there. There's no way.
Well, it's funny that we're sitting here debating it. That's the power this guy has. He can literally go anywhere he wants or any media appearance, and he'll say these things that are just so utterly preposterous. I mean, I can see some whack job who just turns up in a news story saying something that's a complete lie, but this is someone whose image counts.
Yeah.
And yet he tries to perpetuate the most ridiculous lies you could ever imagine because that's the position he finds himself in. He's got so much money, he's had so much success that he, more than anyone in our lifetime who works in entertainment, has used it to his advantage to live a twisted, dysfunctional, illegal lifestyle.
Right.
That he's so arrogant, he even will tell us he's doing it, and he's going to continue to do it, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks, and he won't be stopped until they put handcuffs on him.
Right.
End of story. I mean, he told us what he's doing.
Absolutely. And all the while, he accused everybody else of lying. Those are all lies. Those are lies. While he continuously
everyone else
lies.
is so evil. That's funny. Not only is his dad evil.
Oh, yeah.
The thing with his brothers, bringing girls in to bang them.
Right.
That's a memory that you'd laugh about.
Right.
But he sees that as some horrible mistreatment, I had to sleep. I had to pretend I was asleep while my brothers were having...
Yeah.
That's just basically growing up. That's having fun as a kid.
Exactly.
Everything in his world is some form of abuse on him.
Right, and I don't think he has
Everyone's
ever...
against him.
Right, I don't think he's ever screwed a woman in his entire life. I really don't.
God,
the Tatum O'Neal...
Tatum O'Neal story.
Oh, was that creepy. And you know what? Even at his age
Poor
now,
Tatum
at 44...
O'Neal. God, she sounded like the biggest slut.
Oh, I know. Didn't she come off as bad? And he says, sorry, Tatum, I'm about to portray you as a slut, me as a kook. But you know what? The thing of his hands in front of his face like he did in bed with Tatum, he did the same thing with the interviewer last night. You notice that? Hands in front of the face to shield himself.
Hey, is this Jeff? Who's this? Hello? WRIF, who's there?
Hey, it's Joe.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that last night when Michael Jackson started to dance.
Right.
Well, first, number one, when he said that he was so shy, and there were huge pictures of himself all over the place.
I know. Did you notice how retouched those pictures were too? They didn't look anything like him.
All the way.
Uh-huh.
But when he started to dance, he was doing, he did Dr. Richard Golden's dance move.
That's funny. Yeah, and that dance is so tired, too. It's like, would you come up with something
the
new?
robot stuff.
You know, the guy that was imitating him in Berlin was better at that dance than he was. And that guy in Berlin, I wish I had a gun. I would just want to take that guy out of my misery. What a tool.
Oh, my God, was that nauseating.
I thought the Jackson dance was pretty cool.
Did you? I've just seen it a million times.
I have too, but it's still pretty impressive. You really don't see anyone who does that ever. Probably for a reason.
Let me study it over the weekend. I'll do it on Monday. It's not that hard.
All right, bring it on. I'd like to see Drew on the Jackson rug.
I have to admit, I would love to moonwalk.
I can teach you to moonwalk. That's easy.
If I could spend 10 minutes with Jackson, first I would learn to moonwalk the first 9.5 minutes, and then I would shoot him the last half minute.
Well, you know what? Have they ever talked to his brother specifically to sit there and say, hey, is this true, these beatings?
Yes,
you know,
they
did
have.
this really happen and all that? If it's very, okay.
They say exaggerates.
Is that right?
They agree there was a lot of that. There was a lot of pressure, but they don't quite go along with it. But I think they still want to be close to Joseph.
No.
In between shooting him and learning how to moonwalk, you got to at least play a water balloon fight with them.
Oh, yeah.
Or go on the cars.
Climb some trees.
You got to climb that tree.
It's not climbing trees. There's a ladder in it.
I know. There were little hand rails. As Alex said it, too. That's it. He's not really climbing that tree.
He's got a little handrail.
You're missing out.
Oh.
If Alex runs away from home, I'll know where to find him. He'll be at Neverland. He loves that place.
How funny was it in Germany when he went on stage early and the cameras caught it? I was laughing my ass off, and he's sitting there hiding behind the stage feeling like the biggest a-hole.
That was funny.
That was great.
I was disappointed in Boris Becker. It's like, Boris Becker, what are you doing introducing an award for this child molester?
I know it.
You celebrities, would you stop it? And the world needs to turn on these people, these Elizabeth Taylors. I know I just said it, but I just feel so strongly. I'm so tired of these people who prop up other celebrities who are living lifestyles that are absolutely out of the mainstream.
Yep.
And want us to believe that everything they do is okay.
Yep. Wasn't it?
Isn't what? Go ahead. I was just thinking, Boris can relate. Isn't he the one that was banging that chick in the closet?
Well, I don't know how he relates to sleeping with a 12-year-old.
Well, didn't he knock that chick up and then deny it, or?
Well, yeah, he tried to deny it, but he's now paying child support. Yeah, he met a woman at a restaurant, went in a storage closet in the restaurant with her for 10 minutes and knocked her up.
Oh, God.
Nice going, Boris.
Oh, jeez.
He tried to claim he got a BJ,
well,
too.
He's probably a little proud of his super seed.
We're going to take a break. It's 6:35. I'll play the Tatum O'Neal part.
You know, in the end, too, it was funny. When it went into prime time and they interviewed him, wasn't it great when the interviewer, God, I keep forgetting his name. He made
Bashir.
What is it, the greatest statement when it was like, how would you sum up this guy when he called him a broken, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He used all these great words to describe him. Wow.
I don't think I was ready for some of the things he was talking about. I was pretty naive. I'm not joking. I hope she forgives me for telling this story. Okay, Tatum, please forgive me. I remember her telling me to come over to the house, to her house. They have a Beverly Hills house, too.
Slut.
And what she's going to do to me when I come. You know, all the...
Well, what did she say?
All the sexual stuff. I'm scared to death.
So she rings you and says, Michael, come to my house. I'm going to make love to you.
What?
And you're really scared.
I'm scared.
What are you scared of? What's all this scared?
I know,
Like
always scared.
I came over there
Never
trying
had
to
a
be
girl in
Mr.
your
Big
life.
Shot and brave. I remember she cut off all the lights in her bedroom, opened the curtains. You can see the whole skyline of the city.
She was kind of hot then, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Beautiful.
she would have been 14 or 15, but I mean, he was 14 or 15, too.
Yeah.
They're about the same age.
I laid on the bed.
I mean, she's a very cute
Probably,
girl.
maybe to this day, he doesn't want to grow up because then he'll have to have sex and he can't do it.
Touched the button on my shirt to open it. And I took my hands like this. And I wouldn't let him down.
Imagine how freaked out she was.
Oh, brother.
Just walked away. She knew I was too shy for it.
You know, she might have described the same story. I mean, do we have her side of it in the Barbara Walters interview?
Yeah.
We do? Okay.
When you were 7, your father took over and raised you.
Well, he...
Sounds like a bad setup. I don't think it is, though.
When I was 6. And I had some serious problems. Like, I stole. I was a liar.
Because he was entering your mouth.
Yes.
Did you like it?
You know, he was all I had.
How old were you?
15.
Was your father a loving father?
Yes.
Because he was entering your mouth.
Yes.
Tell me how you felt.
I gained a lot of weight.
Because he was entering your mouth.
Yeah.
It makes you very angry.
Makes me want to throw up.
Why?
Well, first of all, that he would loose lip sync chips.
Scuzzball,
And
she
he'd do a
sounds
towel.
like.
Because he was entering your mouth.
Yeah, and I'd ask my permission. I made him stop.
Why?
Because he was becoming violent.
Because he was entering your mouth.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did it affect your relationship with him?
Yes, greatly.
Contradictory, isn't it?
Because he would take out all of his rage onto me.
You were the cause?
Of his losing, yes. Myself and the children.
You said that your father was entering your mouth.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes. McEnroe wants to kill me.
Why would he want to kill you?
I left him.
Because he was entering your mouth.
And I'd ask my permission.
You ignorant fool.
Well, she didn't. That must not be the piece where she reveals that, unfortunately. But it was
crazy.
Worth the detour. We'll be right back.
Drew and Mike.
Talent beyond comprehension, compassion beyond bounds, and commitment to others beyond compare.
101 WRIF. The Riff.
All right.
With Drew and Mike.
See the latest in construction products, equipment, techniques. 248-972-1000 is the number to call. Stress, what's up?
Hey, M14, let's see, both directions between US 23 North and South. Spin-out accidents all over the place with the ice buildup.
This one.
23.
Michael's just shopping. Don't let him bother you, Mr. Stress.
Okay.
He's just doing, we got a little flea market going in the studio here.
Okay.
These.
23 Mile Road ramp to 94 accident there. Look out for that. And 14 Mile Road West just before I-75. Big accident there in the center.
Did we get those?
It's backed up. That's it. That's hell of traffic.
Trudy's brought to you by Fred, the best answer on men, divorce, and family law.
How about this one, right?
Call Fred at 248-356-7775. Fred specializes in representing men in divorce and family law.
Did we ever get this one, these ones?
Fred, father's rights for equality in divorce. And Fred brings you Trudy News.
Can you put that on the list?
Wasn't that a spectacle?
God. Where are the police?
The police would get to the front gate of Neverland, and they would never be able to find anything by the time they got to him. I think. That's my opinion.
He admitted it last night. He sleeps with 12-year-old boys.
Exactly.
That is, as far as I'm concerned, that's all I need to know.
Taunting them to come and get him, and once they got there, there would be no evidence, and he could sue them.
Oh.
He's so insulated. That is how cool his little world is, that no one could get to him.
I think it's part of his ego, too. Is he's telling it. He knows that's not right.
Oh, yeah.
He's telling everyone he's doing it to say, you can't stop me.
And is there a statute of limitations on molestation charge? Because didn't Macaulay Culkin and Kieran Culkin happen how many years ago?
Probably about 7 or 8 years ago.
And he admitted that, well, I don't know, maybe more than that, because this is Macaulay like...
I like those.
Well, yeah, maybe you're right. But that far back...
What's wrong with his parents? Would someone talk to Kid Culkin? He's kind of a whack job. He might get pissed and go beat the hell out of Jackson, which would be great.
I don't think so.
We bought these, right? And these?
I think Kid Culkin got what he needed out of that. Was more jobs for his kids.
Yeah.
This table, these.
God, he's buying everything at our little flea market here. This is terrible. We don't have anything left.
The most current situation...
Look at these big blue ones. Look how beautiful these are. These,
not
right?
that, too. I hope he doesn't go over the Apollo's baby thing, because that's... I know somebody's coming in to look at that.
Yes,
and,
yes, they made it up. We got these, right?
But the most recent incidents are the ones where he says that he slept on the floor. Because that is probably actionable.
He's holding hands with that kid. Did you see the death grip on the kid's hands? That is screwed up. That kid's head on his shoulder. It was like it was like we were interrupting a date. I felt awkward.
So did Martin Bashir, obviously.
These things are mine, right?
But it was a busy day at Metro for the airport sheriff's deputies as 4 passengers picked yesterday to pitch their fits on flights out of the airport. 3 of them on board a plane bound for Baltimore, Washington, released without being charged for moving from seat to seat during their flight, which made 2 other passengers nervous and the flight crew.
Do you believe that? See, I saw this story in the news last night. So we're talking about the Northwest flight?
Yeah.
Okay, they talk about these people who were acting suspicious, blah, blah, blah. And Tess and I were watching, and I said, I guarantee you they'll never tell us what they did, and I bet you they're released. And sure enough, at the end of the story, they were released. And, they're not revealing anything about the incident. They won't say what they did. I think we have some probably Arab Americans who were acting just maybe a little excited, or who knows, maybe just got up and down a couple times. there's some people who just are so nervous on flights now that normally what would be the most innocent behavior looks terribly suspicious.
And
people just freak out.
And if they look Arabic or even Hispanic.
Well, yeah, Greek.
If
you're Greek, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's call for somebody to just completely push the panic button.
Yeah. I bet you they didn't do a damn thing.
Maybe not, but it was enough to make people nervous, and they actually scrambled 2 F-16s from Andrews Air Force Base, just in case, because it was headed to the D.C. area.
Mm-hmm.
The other flight on its way to Mexico landed in Indiana to let off a guy arrested for mumbling and not cooperating with the flight crew. When they tried to get him to sit down, they handcuffed him.
This one.
Probably won't pay for any of it.
Yeah. The game is over, says Bush about Saddam Hussein's little weapons shell game. He's a mortal threat.
Sorry, he's... can we take his mic off, Walters?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Possibly.
He's mic'd.
Yeah.
What is it that make him act? Is it Demerol that he's on?
I don't know what he's on.
I don't know.
I think that he's drug addicted, for one thing. Doesn't he have the signs of like a painkiller addict?
Yeah.
All the weird, quirky behavior.
Well, he's weird anyway, though. That's just it. Where do you...
His weirdness, though, has begun to quadruple.
His speech drags sometimes. He seems kind of just glossy, not quite there.
Boy, did you see when he was looking at the films of ABC? I mean... Just the height of his career. I mean, that was just a major moment. He looked bummed out.
Well, I understand.
It's probably
his dad was
represents
beating him.
a bad time.
That's what I thought was he just thought of his father. He thought of Joseph wailing on him.
Yeah.
Except Joseph didn't wail on him as much as the other boys because...
He was hard to catch. He always did it right.
Right, he always did it right. He always did it right, and the other boys always did it wrong.
You know, next week I think they should spend 2 hours on Marlon, because Marlon got beat up worse than Michael, is what he said, remember?
Yeah, he's not a freak.
Yeah, you know what else cracked me up too was him talking about how his kid looked like Randy when he was born. That kid does not look like Randy Jackson. Get out of here.
And did you happen to see Prince Michael I has dark roots?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody called about that.
He has dark roots.
I didn't notice that.
He has bleached blonde hair.
Exactly.
I didn't notice that.
And he's what, 4?
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that unbelievable?
It's BS. They made it up.
And he doesn't care about the little girl's hair because he doesn't care about little girls.
Exactly. That was a bummer.
And I'm surprised he doesn't unload that little girl.
I know. I was surprised, too.
Hey, I heard, maybe we can get a call on this. I heard in the 11 o'clock news they're going to talk to the Debbie Rowe.
Oh, really?
Right.
Did anybody see that? Could somebody call and let me know what they said? I was very curious. Or email.
She had a statement, of course, you know. It was on E.T. that was just basically...
Oh, she's a wonderful father and all that?
Yeah, exactly. And Michael Jackson is great.
Taking out all these people. They piss me off.
You know what?
He's a great caretaker of all of our children.
She should have had to remove her uterus after making that statement.
Exactly.
Immediately, emergency room uterus removal. But
and then, too, his dad, when he sees his dad, he would faint, and the bodyguards would have to hold him up.
Oh, right. But you see Primetime afterwards, they're saying a lot of this is made up. Michael Jackson, I'm trying to be the biggest freak in the world.
Yeah. Well, he's lying about the plastic surgery, and we know he's lying about his net worth.
Well, Joseph...
That was a lie.
Joe Jackson said, well, if he regurgitated when he saw me, he regurgitated all the way to the bank. And Joe Jackson, his eyebrows are wild.
He's
look
totally
weird.
Evil. Yeah, he's evil,
Yes, he is the creepiest looking guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, President Bush was saying how Saddam has to be stopped.
Saddam Hussein has the motive and the means and the recklessness and the hatred to threaten the American people. Saddam Hussein will be stopped.
This is this little cheerleading rally he held yesterday in the White House to fortify what Colin Powell said, and I think it worked because, according to the survey, 71% of us now think Colin Powell laid out enough evidence for us to go to war. 6 out of 10 people, according to the ABC News poll, say inspectors should be given just a few more weeks, and then let's just go. And they are sending the 101st. Remember the 101st?
Oh, the 101st
First to hit the ground in Baghdad, and they're some
the
badass
best.
dudes.
Oh, 101st goes way back. They are the greatest.
Have you been reading any of the stories? The Free Press has had a story in each of the last 2 days about the Iraqi military.
Okay, yeah, right.
If you read these stories...
On the borders, you mean, where they're like...
It will make you wonder what we're so worried about.
Yeah.
Some analysts say Iraqi forces so debilitated any match between U.S. and Iraqi will be nearly bloodless for the Americans.
Right. Yeah, they'll just give up.
Well, they were talking about...
When the tank key is turned and it revs up at its engine, they'll be like, oh, no.
Well, they already said along the side of the road they're starving to death. They're begging for food.
They're eating bread only, the troops.
Exactly.
The 23 divisions of regular Army troops virtually irrelevant except for 3 mechanized divisions. Republican Guard and Special Republican Guard units are stationed around Baghdad, generally views as charged with protecting Hussein. That's all they're doing, and those are the only troops that are worth anything. Let's see. Iraqi's armed forces are a shadow of their former selves after a decade of UN sanctions. From 1 million after invading Kuwait in 1990, Iraq's military is about 420,000. They have no new weapon systems since 1991. The stocks of battle tanks and airplanes are down 40%, and 40% of what they have don't work.
Oh.
Any parts that they're getting are from regular vehicles that are imported that they have to convert to military use.
Toyotas?
Toyotas. When I read that, though, I couldn't help but think, wait, I mean, here's North Korea saying, you know, we have nuclear bombs, and we're ready for all-out war with you bastards.
Well, that's
why
why
we keep continuing to play it down.
He thinks he can win the war with chemical, biological weapons and dirty bombs, though. And he has a UAV, like a missile that could fly far enough, they say, to hit the middle of the United States.
They
if it's fired from offshore.
They downplay his chemical and biological weapons, and they even talk about how these medical experts have been forced to come up with some evaluation of the vaccinations because all these hospitals are being asked to vaccinate there, and they're refusing to do it.
Yep.
They've decided this is not an imminent threat, and, you know, people's lives are at stake.
Right,
I don't know,
it's a risk.
It's really confusing when you read things like that, and then you hear Bush, who implies that this is the most dangerous threat.
Right. Well,
I don't know what to
it's
think.
no way to start a war by saying, "Yeah, we'll go in and kick their asses in an hour." You gotta build it up.
Well, no, but I keep reading about how decimated they are and how pathetic their military is. It just doesn't seem that all that
that's
threatening.
because he doesn't want Saddam Hussein in there anymore.
But, you know, look at...
So he's going to make it look as threatening as possible.
Well, Colin Powell, a considerable amount of his speech was about the nuclear threat that he represents in the future and his search for these various components to make the nuclear warheads and all that stuff. So if that's the big concern, North Korea is the bigger priority. And there's a lot of people coming out, even yesterday, talking about that we're not addressing North Korea at all. And that's the big threat.
it.
We're downplaying it because we don't want to deal with it because it's too big of, you know, they've got the stuff.
And that guy's a Michael Jackson fan.
North Korea.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
I know. Did you see Bush, though, came on yesterday and he says, what if Iraq has a ship right offshore, right off? He could spray this hundreds of miles. And then right after they have this former military person who's an expert on weapons of mass destruction, biological weapons, and he says, it's terribly improbable.
Right.
It's like, why is our president? I mean, it seems like he's trying to scare the you-know-what out of us, and I can't decide if he's really sincere or if he just really wants this so bad.
Well,
or a little bit of both.
But what if there are things that they have covert and something happens like 9/11 within the United States? Then people would be like, why didn't we stop it?
Well, 9/11 and Saddam Hussein are not one and the same thing.
True, I know.
But I think that's what people feel. I think a lot of people feel, well, we'll never have another 9/11 if we just get rid of Saddam Hussein.
Right, but if he fires something in the midst of the United States, actually, attacks our interior, then people would be outraged that
nobody did anything
wasn't
about
stopped.
it.
But
this is true.
Oh, no, I agree.
You can't win.
You're right. There's no way to win.
Mm-hmm.
No.
NASA, by the way, scrutinizing some photos. They say are high-resolution Air Force photos taken from a telescope. A telescope, by the way, that could see an object a foot long from 600 miles away.
It's BS. They made it up.
Maybe.
Well, this is huge.
That they say could be crucial evidence in telling them what happened just before the disintegration as the spaceplane entered the atmosphere over Texas. They say a lot of damage on the wing.
Yeah,
could
that
be from
ragged
space junk?
edge. Yeah, that ragged edge.
Ignorant fool.
There's definitely damage on that shuttle before it re-entered. So.
Then there's Michael Jackson, the uncomfortable weirdness of his lifestyle. Most frightening, his ideas about kids in his bed.
When you're talking about children, we met Gavin. Mm-hmm. And it was a great privilege to meet Gavin because he's had a lot of suffering in his life.
Yeah.
When Gavin was there, he talked about the fact that he shares your bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you understand why people would worry about that?
Because they're ignorant.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Take him away.
Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room?
You are.
You, Jackson. Here's a mirror.
Why did he say that? Of course, he wants to keep the interview going. I guess the guy did a great job.
And he's pushing his I'm the biggest weirdo in America role. But
isn't that what more evidence do they need? He said it.
He said
on
it.
television.
Right.
He does it.
Sleeps
He
with
said
kids
it
all the time.
He had the ability also to look into a camera lens and just balls out lie about his two plastic
You've
surgeries.
physically changed, haven't you? The photographs of you, if I look at them...
No, it's called adolescence. It's called growing and changing.
No.
Yeah, but even the shape of your face has changed.
No, it has not. I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose. It helped me breathe better so I can hit higher notes.
But are you, Michael, are you honestly saying that you've only ever had one operation?
2.
You've had 2?
As I can remember, yeah.
Just to...
Oh, what I can remember.
If I look at some of the photographs of you in your adolescence...
Yeah, I changed. People change.
But even after, when you did the Thriller album, your lips are very different now to what they were then. But they do look different.
Sorry.
Yes.
And everybody in Hollywood get plastic surgery.
I feel like that's an ass. He doesn't even know the woman. Then he says that they had a relationship.
Yes, I know that.
That's within an hour. Come on. Or not within an hour. Those were two separate. One was in Miami. One was in Las Vegas. He couldn't keep his story straight.
Exactly. Yep, I noticed that.
Why do this to me?
I know. Didn't that seem so incredibly fake, though? Everything that comes out of his mouth seems totally fake.
I know, and just start crying. Oh,
but there were no
so
tears.
Mean to me. My dad's so mean to me. My brothers used to have sex around.
Woe is me.
But when did he cry?
When they had him nailed.
Totally
when he was
dry eye, though, when he was like, boy, are you doing this to me? And he pretended to cry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And you know, the thing is, he's fortified by his bank account. However, they're wondering if they're really billions or
was a lie.
lot less than that.
Well,
According to this investment banker who's suing him because for $2 million and damages, which would result in him being sued for $10 million for not paying her over the course of 2 years when he was trying to manage his funds into something that would basically keep him from having to perform for his income, and this woman says it's just totally reneged. Then there is the suit in California by the concert promoter who says he reneged on the Millennium shows after taking millions of dollars for it and never delivering that. And there's a third one from this guy who is in charge or was in charge of Jackson International LLC, who's suing him, and the lawyer's speculation is that he doesn't pay because he doesn't have money.
Well, Barbara Walters said estimated worth $200 to $300 million. At the end of the show, up on the screen, estimated worth $350 million.
The Jackson Family Honor Show, there was lawsuit upon lawsuit upon lawsuit. Randy Tarbarelli's book, all he does is when he doesn't show up or he doesn't pay for something, he just lawyers you and papers you and papers you. And this is what wealthy people can do to smaller people. They can just out-lawyer them, and eventually they just don't have to pay because people say, you know what, I'm bankrupt, you've ruined my life, I quit. There's nothing I can do. And that's what people like Michael Jackson do.
Yeah. And that,
That's sick.
That looks like he really is very divisive, that he isn't this innocent fawn who's being...
I want to heal the world.
You know, back in 93, I'm trying to remember this. Remember when the kids, they were talking about this Vertiglio and then the spotted dick? Remember that? And then, and then the kid came out, and the kid was like describing his dick, right? Yeah. And then that caused, put everything into motion. The next thing you know, they were taking pictures of his dick. Remember that?
Yeah.
My
penis, my
buttocks. Well, did the payoff, the plea bargaining, did that occur after that? Oh, I know.
Everything else is.
But is that when they plea bargained the thing out, when the photographs were taken?
He coughed up the $25 million.
Right after that, right?
Because he was going to go, that's his penis.
Yeah, because the next step would have been to show that the pictures, in fact, match what the kid's saying, and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you're right. Where are those pictures? I can't believe people have kept that stuff away from the public all these years.
Did you happen to see the plastic surgeon afterwards?
Yes.
When they said, he says he only had 2 plastic surgeries, and she said, that, he said, for shock value. Because people will go, oh, come on. And he knows that fool.
His nose is finished. She said basically his nose is at the point of no return.
That there's probably an implant that was coming back out when he was on the stand.
The way it is, it's just so obvious. And then that
it does look like Peter Pan's nose, though.
You're right.
Doesn't it look like a Disney cartoon nose?
Yes.
No, it is Peter Pan.
Somebody sent us a picture compared to him, and it's very close.
It is. And all of this so he can breathe better. You see how small his nostrils are because of this stuff?
Stuffy he sounds?
Yeah,
I know, it's so weird.
His breathing is impaired by this, if anything.
Of course.
God. Oh, God, it's so maddening, isn't it?
ABC made a killing off of that last night. And, of course, he's saying that he feels betrayed by Martin Bashir. So why did you cough all that up, though? I mean...
Well, that's it.
And I wonder what was in the stuff that he legally had Bashir restrained from using. Towards the end there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that was about the case, which he can talk about. The kid can't talk about it. He can talk about it all he wants.
That's what I thought.
He's the one that paid, so that kid can't talk. And he's no longer a kid. I'm not sure that kid is entirely that restrained now.
Really?
I think it had to do with he couldn't talk until he was 21 or something like that.
Really?
But he can't take legal action. That he cannot do.
But Jackson can talk.
Of course he can.
Yeah.
He's the one that paid the money.
How do you like that? Another lie.
I think he trades on the idea, too, that who would believe any of these little kids anyway? He's Michael Jackson. Well, who's going to prove it, actually?
If he had to, yeah, he would say that.
Who will prove it? Rick Rockwell, 3 years later, going on with his life, he lives in Vancouver, and he sees himself as the person who is responsible for opening the Pandora's box of reality shows that are out now.
Oh, shut up.
He thinks he is a pioneer.
The first idiot that was on there in the Bachelor pod.
Rockwell.
He is a pioneer of the genre.
Here it is.
And at the same time, waves it off as being so 5 minutes ago. The wise old veteran Rockwell warning people if they need to get a life, basically, if they have to find love on TV.
Only watching you.
Shut up, Rockwell.
I know, you idiot.
And
I still remember him crying. I remember him crying in Entertainment Tonight when he went on the Jeff and Jer show in San Diego.
Sure do.
Calling his eyes out, I just wish I had a chance to talk to Darva.
He
She won't take my calls.
He was sobbing.
It was so ridiculous.
It was outrageous.
And when we had him on, it was so funny. I still remember him talking about the Bachelor Pod, as if everyone has a Bachelor Pod. You know, well, I was in the Bachelor Pod. You know, as if it's just part of our normal nomenclature. That was where he was sitting, where there was just the shadow of the Bachelor who we didn't get to see. Because who would marry him?
Right, the guy had an erection sitting in a chair. We just saw him from behind, just the back of his head and the silhouette.
The silhouette of the
You'll
erection.
never be bored.
Oh, yeah.
And according to police reports now, Phil Spector had to be physically restrained when the Alhambra police popped by to take him in for the dead woman on his floor. They're forced to subdue him after surveying the scene. And then he had to be taken to a hospital because he was under observation from suicide. After 2 hours, they allowed him to leave, and he had to post his $1 million bail.
You think this is the end?
They're not worried about his suicide now, eh? They're so worried about suicide. Here, go on, go out, leave.
But you know what? My dream scene is him in a cell with Michael Jackson.
Oh, God, what a great fantasy.
He's too old.
That would bum Michael out.
Yeah, it would.
Well, I wonder if we reached the point, or are we getting to the point where this celebrity injustice, where people are just about to go nuts over this? I don't know. Is it just the way of life now, or is it one of those things that's going to reach a boiling point, like last night on television, to watch this guy so boldly proclaim that I'm going to sleep with children. It's wonderful to sleep with children. On national television, aren't enough people going to be just furious that they will not accept this? You got Phil Spector, a dead woman who's dead from bullets from his revolver, in his home. He's out on $1 million bail. Like, if he was anyone else, he wouldn't be out. We have O.J. Simpson roaming around, abusing his daughter, apparently.
Yep.
At what point are people going to just rise up and force celebrities to get at least something close to the same kind of treatment we get? I mean, they're always going to get better treatment. Obviously, they're always going to get a better table. They're always going to get a better lawyer. But this is just, to me, it's just gone over the edge.
Yeah, it's over the top. It's out of hand.
And I don't recall it being like this. There's some famous cases. I mean, if you go back, I've read a lot of these goofy books like Fatty Arbuckle. Fatty Arbuckle was the biggest star in Hollywood, and he was involved in a rape of, was she under? No, she died. He,
under some pretty bizarre circumstances.
There was a Coke bottle involved.
Boy.
And a hemorrhage, and that was the end of Fatty Arbuckle. People just said, bye-bye.
Right,
we don't like you anymore. You're too weird. And his career was over.
Right.
But now you have Woody Allen. I mean, his wife's kid.
Oh,
Nude photos, sex, and, that's just one element of them. I don't know. Compartmentalize
Are
this
people
stuff.
just desensitized?
No, they're so talented, it's worth them being allowed to do whatever they want.
Well, that's the Bill Clinton thing. Well, I know, but look what a great president he is. So what if he gets blowjobs from interns? I don't know. I'm just surprised that we're willing to accept that from people just because, but he's such a great singer. He can dunk a basketball, though.
Yeah.
Who cares if he sleeps with a 10-year-old? He can dunk a basketball.
I would think this morning it seems like everybody is deeply affected by the Jackson story. I think everybody is up in arms and wants something to happen there.
Well, I think they might want it to. But will the attention span stay more than 2 days? I doubt it.
I don't know. And then can they do anything? Will they do anything about it? The people that can do something, will they?
Well, I don't know. But if they storm into Neverland, he can hide everything before anybody gets to him.
Go
rub
get
it all
the computer,
down.
grab the hard drive.
I bet you there's something in there. Like, if they got a search warrant, I bet they can find something.
Well, remember before, there's Polaroids and all that. Now, grab the hard drive. Lord knows what sites he's been on.
Does he have that kind of stuff, though?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you think he'd get caught if he had any of that stuff, or if he was online trolling with Pee Wee Herman?
I don't know. He tells us he sleeps with 12-year-olds. If he tells us that on national TV, I got to believe he's got something in there.
You know what happens, though?
He's not afraid.
If they come to the door to get him, he's out the back and on the plane to another country where they love him, like Germany.
Probably, yeah. And they won't extradite him.
Right.
Hey, the whole Scott Lacey Peterson thing, speaking of crime, which is one of the most interesting true crime things going on out there, or is it a crime or not? I tend to think it is. You know the mistress, the ugly mistress?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
His wife's much prettier, though. It really is. It's like Fatal Attraction, where you have the Ann Archer, Glenn Close comparative. In my eyes, this is just the wife is just as pretty, and the mistress is just as gross. The mistress is nude in a tabloid.
Oh, what?
Yep, she's got there's naked pictures of her. Not that they just took from her past. Isn't it amazing how everything ends up with someone nude?
Yeah.
She's nude.
There's a boner behind everything, and
when she was nude, she was getting braces to get her teeth straightened, even though she was of age. so she's nude with braces. And there's another woman who's come forward to say, oh, this baloney about she didn't know he had a pregnant wife. I was pregnant when she fooled around with my husband.
See, everybody starts.
So here we have naked, what's her name? Scott Peterson's secret girlfriend. Amber Fry, there she is.
See?
Little Miss Goody. Oh, I had no idea. And as soon as I found out, I called this press conference.
She has no idea twice that men that she was involved with were married?
Well, we haven't heard her story on the second one, but the wife of the first guy said she knew. I confronted her. I yelled at her. I called her.
See, everybody starts their life nude on the planet, and they end their career in their life nude. That's the way I see it. Like when everything is over here on the last breath of your career, you end up nude.
Those are really bad pictures.
Yeah, she's pretty gross. Look at Lacey Peterson. I think Lacey Peterson is just beautiful.
Yeah.
That girl, cute. She looks like somebody. I can't. Who's she?
Yeah, Josie Bissett from Melrose Place.
Thank you.
Only sort of a trailer trash version.
It's the haircut. Yeah, trailer trash. Exactly.
It's the hair and the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, Josie. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see the segment of the Michael Jackson thing? Not to get back to that, where he's jiggling that baby.
Yes, when
nearly
to feeding.
Yeah.
We were talking about that feeding.
Well, we decided that he doesn't normally feed that baby. That was just for the camera. So, oh, look what a wonderful father.
Yeah, and can't find its mouth.
Yeah.
And
fish out of water.
And so he hadn't fed the kid. And he's got this thing of a veil over the kid's face. What a miserable experience for that kid.
Is struggling. Yeah, and then bouncing that kid like that. What a disaster. And he seemed nervous and out of sorts while he was doing it.
Just did a hit.
Whoa,
it was just kicking in.
Really nutty, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's what Mar Bashir said. He said he was really worried about how he was coming apart.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
in
that frame of mind, all shaky like that, he holds this child over.
Yeah, that's when he said he became alarmed, I think, yeah.
7:14 Sports on WRF, brought to you by Motor City Pit Stop, the Motor City Casino's newest dining option, featuring authentic home-style barbecue just the way you like it, hot and messy, just how good barbecue should be at Motor City Casino. Stop by today. And this isn't really the lead sports story, but I thought it was very interesting. Jennifer Lopez, who got pissed when Ben Affleck gave a $5,000 tip to a dealer and pulled it back and sent $300 over. Well, it turns out she bets just as big as Ben. She's not afraid. Jenny from the block isn't afraid to drop $250,000 on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Which she won $400,000 on.
Isn't that something?
I wonder how much her tip was.
God.
Well, like many control freaks, she figures he's not capable of it, but she can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Visiting Colorado Avalanche beat the Red Wings 1-0 last night. Red Wings are just in a little snit here lately. Patrick Waugh gets the shutout. Alex Tanguay scored for the Avs late in the first period. Colorado's 5-0-2 since losing to Detroit January the 16th at home. The Red Wings winless in the past 5 and 5-8-1-1 in 2003. I think this thing is reaching the point where our little losing streak is either going to end or all hell's going to break loose, or I don't know what. Although we still have some things that could buffet the team. Eiserman could come back. That would be a real emotional boost. But the disappointment continues. Although 1-0 Colorado, I mean, is that really something to get panicked about? If you look at the games individually, they don't look quite as bad, but it has been a nasty stretch here. Kobe Bryant had 46, Shaq 33. Lakers beat New York 114-109. That team is starting to turn it up a little bit. College basketball, we had some upsets last night. Virginia over number 8 Maryland, 86-78. Maryland's home ACC winning streak over at 14. Jack Morris will do color commentary on 40 games on Channel 50 with Frank Beckman. And David Justice retired. You see, how old is David Justice? Doesn't he seem a little young to be retiring? I know his game's not quite what it was.
Bounced around a lot last few years.
He had 305 homers and 1,017 RBIs. Went to the postseason 12 times, including last season with Oakland. And that's sports. At 16 after 7 o'clock, WRIF. Jackson has filed a complaint about this documentary, too.
I know it. It's like, shut up, Jackson.
Isn't that funny? He goes on television and says he sleeps with 12-year-old boys, and now he's filing a complaint. I mean, that tells you how.
Oh, I know it. And on and on about how this guy betrayed his trust, and that this is the worst it's ever been. That this is the most he has ever been betrayed, ever. And again, this is all the things that he said. He just realized that he blew it. And then now it's just this guy's fault for putting it together.
Hey, here's the court document from 1993, the declaration sworn by the 13-year-old California boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Did you read this?
Part of it. I just got it.
Wow. You know, I was just about to say, if I hear Michael Jackson's name one more time, I think I'm going to throw up, but I think we might need to get into this. Oh, boy. Let's break away from it, though, for just a minute. We have. How about if we talk to? Should we get the Forever Love guy on? We were just talking about J-Lo and no Forever Love. Isn't that amazing? We actually talked about J-Lo and Ben, and the Forever Love song did not come on. We've had multiple emails, people going, "Hey, whatever happened to the Forever Love guy? He was doing his 6 weeks till Valentine's tour," which he took a lot of heat about. And it's only a week from Valentine's now, so it seems to me maybe it's time to call Vincent James.
Dear Ben and Jennifer,
and Matt,
dedicate this song to your love, your life, and your happiness.
We'll make it quick.
Truly be forever love. It's so hard to find.
Come on, Mike, sing along. Jeez, I gotta get the words.
It always seems to slip right through our hands. Forever love is always on my mind.
Yeah.
Waiting, wondering.
I get this tool on the phone. Let's get done with him. We read this. Hey, Vincent.
Hey.
I forgot that you answered the phone music. How could I forget that?
I don't know. You gave me such a fun time about it last time.
Well, Mike, he answers the phone music. Isn't that cool? Because he's a musician. How's the 6 weeks till Valentine's tour going?
It's entering into the grueling phase.
Oh, really? Is it getting to be pretty intense?
Yes.
Do you do more than one show a day?
I'm now doing 3 to 5 a day.
3 to 5 shows a day?
Sure, that's what I get for not doing enough early on.
How many people, what kind of venues are you playing? How many people do they hold?
It could be malls, coffee houses, bookstores.
You pretty much selling out?
Well, they're like public venues, so, I mean, some of them have more public in them than others.
They're already stocked.
Right, they're already stocked.
Do they just pay you a set fee? Or they pass the hat or something?
Some of them are past the hat, some of them are a set fee, and some of them are just gratis for the promotion.
You know, 6 weeks doing 3 to 5 shows a day would be intense, but when you're doing 3 to 5 shows a day of these intensive love songs, you must get so spent just pouring that kind of passion out on a daily basis 3 to 5 times.
Well, I'll tell you what the hard part is. Sometimes I'm trying to remember which songs I've already played from show to show. Like, did I already play this song?
Yeah, but it probably doesn't matter because in the mall, people have probably already done their shopping, went by you, got confused, and they're out the door, and you got a new group there.
So they don't know, right? It's a traveling crowd.
Yeah. Do you have a clock that shows like the hands are sitting at 4 o'clock? It says next show will be at?
No, but I should.
Yeah.
Vincent has love songs only after 5 o'clock, and everything's a 5 on the clock.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's Forever Love going over? Is that becoming your big tune, your encore?
It's definitely going over very well, you know. People are still interested in what the heck Ben and Jen are doing, so.
Is it because of Ben and Jen you think the song does so well?
Because of that, and because I think it's one of the better songs I've written.
Have you heard from them?
I haven't heard back from them, yeah.
You know, they don't appreciate anything. You're never going to hear from them.
You're probably right.
If you hear from anyone, it'd be Ben.
Yeah.
Jen, not in a million years, but Ben might actually get emotional.
Or Matt. Have you even received like a form letter from the publicist?
Not yet, no.
Did you try to contact them?
It's through their publicist and their agent.
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually contacted the publicist and the agent, never heard back from either one of them?
Not yet, no.
Oh, yeah.
Not even a stamped signature.
That has to hurt.
Yeah, that's bad.
Now, you getting any tail on this tour? Any guy out there singing love songs, 5 shows a day should be getting some tail.
Oh, tail.
Tail,
the only
gash.
tail I'm allowed to get is at home.
Gash.
Oh, you got a wife? You have a wife?
Crude, Drew.
Yes.
Does your wife think you're, like, way too in love? She's like, God, I wish you'd be a little less romantic.
I think so.
Yeah. Do you have a job?
Not currently.
That is his job. Music's his job.
It's always this way.
Love is his job.
There be any other job but love? Come on.
What kind of problems have you run into along the way? Because you know the road, how it is, the load in, the load out, snafus, mics don't work, feedback.
You show up sometimes at a place and like, are you supposed to be here? Or this power always worked before? You book so many shows and you start to get confused if you're showing up at the right place.
That's really funny. Because the people that book you like have nothing to do with the coffee shop or the mall or whatever.
Sometimes it's different people and they just they don't talk.
I know how that is though.
What are you doing here?
You know what? If after I'm playing, if they say, "Are you supposed to be here?" That's when I worry.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the biggest applause? I mean, the longest held applause or standing O you've had in the tour. Where was it?
Oh, probably at the Reading Terminal Market here in Philadelphia.
What do they sell there?
Oh, it's like a big open air. It's like the original open air market sort of thing. Only it's under. It's it's underneath a roof nowadays.
Were you playing piano?
Playing piano and singing. Yep.
Really?
Now, do you ever get any audience involvement where I'm trying like taking care of business, for example? The audience of course sings along. Anything like that?
Only on the few covers that I do.
Which covers?
Oh, the Beatles covers. People always sing the Beatles.
Which songs you sing of the Beatles?
Let It Be, Imagine.
Oh yeah?
You do? You sing those songs?
Sure.
But Imagine's not really a love song. That's a world peace song.
It's a love of the world song.
So you don't have two semis that come before you and set up and all that sort of thing. Get your stage ready.
2 semis, my God, no.
No.
Very small setup.
Yeah.
I got to keep it portable so I can get in, get out, and move on.
You know, this might be a dumb question, but do you have to be your own roadie?
Absolutely.
Oh, ow, that's terrible.
5% of the time.
You know, Vincent, I think what you should do is you should have a disguise that you wear when you're the roadie so that you're still the star who comes up to the piano to play afterwards. So people don't think, oh, my God, he's the roadie, too.
So come in all like, grungy setup and then go back out and
come back in a tuxedo.
Different
take the wig
outfit.
off and
Or at least get a family member to set it up.
So what is it called, the 6 Weeks Till Valentine's Tour?
6 weeks to Valentine's, yes. Now it's a whole week left.
Now, what do you do when the 6 Weeks Till Valentine's Tour is over? How do you come off a high like that?
I sleep for like a weekend.
For a whole weekend?
Sure, Saturday and Sunday, man. I'm going to be sleeping.
And then what's next for Vincent James, the author of Forever Love?
More songs, maybe another CD. Just keep pushing.
Now, is there a CD with Forever Love on it?
No. I may put a version out later this year, mid-year.
Can people get your CD on your website?
Yes, and they can also download Forever Love for free now.
What's the website?
At vincentjames.com.
Did you get a lot of hits from Detroit?
I can't tell where they came from, but after we talked, certainly I got some hits.
Oh, you did? Were there any abusive letters?
Oh, I always get a few of them. Love songs is like a love it or hate it kind of thing. You either love it or you hate my guts, you know.
Yeah, it is pretty intense. I think answering the phone music makes you more controversial than the fact that you do love songs.
I'm going to keep doing that.
People really got a charge out of that. People are either very amused by it, some people are upset about it. They want you to stop.
I'm just going to answer a love song.
I already asked him that, Mike. It's funny. Our second producer just walked in the room and said, handed me a note. Does he get a lot of from this tour? He's married.
And? It didn't answer the question.
Yeah, how nervous does the wife get when you're on the road? And, you got these love song groupies coming up. They're thinking you're the most romantic guy on the planet. Does the wife worry?
Nah, she's not worried.
Why is that? Does she just think, oh, my husband's such a sap. Nobody want to be with him?
Yeah, I think she's gone to a show and she knows there's nothing to worry about. Is that what it is?
No, seriously, why doesn't she worry? You're playing an instrument, you're singing. That is a chick magnet land no matter what.
Yeah, when you're married, you just can't worry about these things every day. It'll drive you crazy, right?
The appropriate response for the love songs guy should have been, she trusts me.
Of course she trusts me. I'm not going that long.
6 weeks is a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Mostly local and regional tour, so.
Oh, okay, so you're home. How many of these nights are you home?
I am home most of the nights.
Oh, okay.
God, I thought you were hitting the road.
Yeah, we thought you were all over the road.
Oh,
They're day
geez.
trips. If I was all over the road, I wouldn't be here answering the phone.
So it's basically just a county tour.
I thought you were, even if you were staying like in a bed and breakfast, you'd answer the phone music.
Music.
Now, if you're not home, let's say you're out doing the coffee house, and your wife answers the phone, does she answer the phone music? And if she doesn't, does she get in trouble?
Oh, certainly not. She doesn't answer this phone.
The studio phone?
No.
What if she walked in there and you were out loading the truck up or something? Would she answer the phone music?
Certainly.
Would she seriously?
Yes, she does.
Really?
Do you ever get confused when you're in the house and the regular phone rings and you answer it music?
Sometimes, certainly. Yep.
And the people go, what the hell is that?
They just hang up.
Has your wife ever remarked about answering the phone music?
Not for a few years now. Everybody gets on me. What are you going to do?
But when you are home, generally speaking, you just say hello when you answer the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, the 6 weeks to Valentine's tour, it's only got a week left. Anything special in the final week? Are you mixing up the set list or anything?
I play whatever I feel and what people feel.
What's the most requested song on these 6 weeks till Valentine's tour?
Forever Love or My One More Night or the Beatles song.
Wait, people request Forever Love? They really know it?
Yes.
They do?
How do they know it?
From the website.
Oh, from the website?
How do they know about the website?
Yeah,
because I keep telling them about it.
Have you been on a lot of radio around there?
A little bit. Mm-hmm. And some TV, actually. I had some nice TV spots.
Forever Love, do you hold that till the end usually? Is that just to keep people there so they don't leave?
It depends on the venue. Sometimes I'll play it in the beginning and the end or just at the end.
What's hard about playing in the mall? I would imagine there's probably announcements over the PA at the mall. I mean, that would be sort of a distraction, I would think.
Oh, it's always hard with the walk-by crowd, but, you just improvise.
What about, you're 6 weeks to Valentine's. You had to compete with Santa at one point, didn't you? Or were you there after Santa?
No, I did a show in a mall on January 4th, and I did it in front of the Santa.
Really?
Now, that must have been tough.
It was different.
Did you send an elf over to tell you to cut it out?
Yeah, the elf wasn't there anymore, but,
What's your opening tune at the next gig?
One More Night.
Is that right? The Phil Collins tune?
No, it's my own song, One More Night.
Oh, wait. Has Phil Collins sued you for copyright?
No, different words. Different words,
Phil Collins goes, one more night. How does your one more night go?
Check it out on the website.
Oh, come on. Can't you just read us a few of the words?
I'll give you one line.
All right.
One more night of your loving touch is all I need from you.
I guess that doesn't sound like Phil Collins.
Boy, oh boy, I can see you singing that to Trista.
Yeah, she'd be going crazy.
Yeah, she
on
would.
The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
What's your encore today?
My encore.
Any
you
idea?
know, yeah, coffee houses, you don't do encore.
Oh, that's true. There's just not a big enough crowd?
No.
What's your final song? Let me put it that way.
I really don't know. It depends on who's there and what they want to hear.
All right. Too bad. Well, Butt Mike wanted to fart all over your face before we left, but didn't Butt Mike. I'm sorry.
Vincent James, the 6 Weeks of Valentine's Tour, and the Forever Love Guy, VincentJames.com. Oh, there's the CD right there. One more night.
The cover says, "You mean business."
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, Vincent, good luck to you, and music.
Music, guys.
All right.
We'll look for you on American Idol.
Someday, thanks.
See ya. Music. Bye-bye.
Why does he say music when he...
Because he's such a cheese ball. He just can't help it.
He's just Music Incorporated. He's all that is music.
He admitted, though, that even in the house he occasionally answers the phone music.
How did you originally find out about this guy? Because
he was in here because he did a Ben and Jen song because he so wants Jennifer. He wants this wedding to work out. So he just felt like this guy is a little too into love.
What possesses him?
He needs to be stopped, and there's no stopping him.
Why is he so hung up in them? What is his problem?
He thought it was a way to get his record played. Oh God, what if it's a song about Jen and Ben? Couldn't he get airplay?
Yeah.
And he's pretty professional sounding. I mean, he's genuinely sappy. I mean, it's the real thing.
For sure. Yeah, it's not an act, is it?
No. VincentJames.com. Music.
Dear Ben and Jennifer, I dedicate this song to your love, your life, and your happiness. May it truly be forever love.
This is native Detroiter Glenn Fry, and you're listening to Drew and Mike on 101 WRIF. Hell, I could do this. Michelob Ultra presents
1 WRIF Detroit.
.738 at the Riff. Ted Danson's coming up. Lucy's coming in this morning. Lucy. We're checking her out on TV at 6 o'clock, trying to see if she dressed up for us. Mixed feelings on that. She looks like she's dressed up. I don't think it's her hottest outfit, though.
It's still pretty hot, though.
No, she looks strong. It just seems to me she could have worn something sexier if she was dressing up for us.
Define
Catch my
sexier?
drift?
Yeah,
Well,
I follow you exactly.
Is she wearing a short skirt? I don't know.
Well, this is my question. Me with legs, and she has the legs. She's so tall.
I haven't seen her stand up this morning, but she's not wearing something terribly low cut.
I'll bet she's wearing pants.
So I can call her and tell her to stop by the house and change real quick before she comes in if you want.
No,
yeah.
it's okay.
Well, the blouse she's wearing is buttoned up all the way up to the neck. And then the necklace takes up the skin between, So
she knows better. It's a preemptive strike.
Come to think of it, she did dress for us.
Yes. Yeah. If you look at it that way.
Sweats.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the deposition of the 13-year-old kid that got $25 million from Michael Jackson. It's pretty informative.
Oh, yeah.
First, though.
Yeah, okay.
Joe Millionaire had a hot girlfriend. Everyone's girlfriend is in the tabloids this week. Everyone's ex-girlfriend, I should say.
Good.
Aaron Bergie's ex is in here. Charlie's exes are in here.
Everybody spouting off?
The story about Charlie is going to surprise you.
Really?
I don't know if you're like me, but I look at Charlie and I see somebody who sort of has control over his life and seems kind of successful.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, he seems very, no?
Wrong.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he had me faked out.
He seems like a guy where, he comes from money, and he's schooled in all the ways of, I don't know. You picture him at these luxurious dinners and knowing how to carry himself and knowing all the etiquette and all of that sort of thing. Wine, champagnes, pronounces everything correctly.
Wait till you see the pictures of dumbass Joe Millionaire with his old girlfriend. You're going to laugh your ass off.
Is he wearing a sweater?
He's dressed just the way you're used to seeing him.
And that big, stupid sweater.
This 33-year-old chick, Brittany Ham, she's pretty hot. Says while she dated Evan in 2000 2001, she gained first-hand knowledge of his frightening drug use.
Really?
Guess the drug.
Oh, man, drug use.
No.
Oh, let me think.
Pot. Nope.
Pot.
Nope.
No, not pot. Not blow.
No, you can't do that.
I'd never snort nothing like that.
Shrooms?
No, I don't like any psychedelic stuff like that.
Painkillers?
No. I've never really been in any pain.
Wait a minute. We're running out of things.
Yeah.
Speed.
No, I like speed. I'm going at just fine.
Come on, don't tell us.
All right, paint.
Huffing paint.
He huffs paint.
Huffing paint is perfect for him.
Doesn't it make
That would
sense?
explain what a dumbass he is. He'd be walking around going, no, I don't huff paint. With paint all over his face.
Exactly.
I've never huffed paint in my life. I can't believe people do that.
I can see him walking into the room with just white paint all over his face.
Now, Sarah, I don't know, she might have huffed some paint. But not me. Steroids. Steroids.
Oh,
Yeah, steroids.
okay.
LSD, PCP, heroin, cocaine. What else you want to know?
Well, I believe that.
He was trying to get into professional wrestling, and he said everyone else was doing it, so he started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He
probably still doing it.
This chick, he says he was an animal in bed when he first would inject the steroids because he go through this heavy testosterone cycle, but then it would drop off, and he couldn't even get it up.
Be like the Incredible Hulk for a minute.
Say that.
God, all of a sudden his shirt starts to tear, and he goes nuts, and he mounts her, and then he goes limp, huh?
When I told him I didn't approve, he tried to rationalize it. At least I'm not smoking pot or doing cocaine. I told him the potential side effects. He could die of a heart attack, develop psychological problems. I'm not going to worry about something might happen 20 years down the road.
Well, look at his eyebrows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. It's almost a unibrow. Oh, that's funny.
Here's some pictures of him with this chick. Chick is pretty.
Now, what about...
How does Joe Million... How does this dolt get a good-looking girlfriend?
I don't know.
How stupid.
Well, he was modeling for a while. Now, listen, does she get into his money? What he was doing for a living?
He had no money. She paid for him to fly to visit her.
So he doesn't have money.
Well, his parents have money, but I don't think they give it to him.
Yeah, the parents have to be loaded. Again, the mother was such a socialite in all that makeup.
The story about Charlie is funny.
Oh, look at
those pictures. Isn't that funny?
Dolt. He always looks hilarious. Here comes Frankenstein once again out of his cave. He's just a zero.
Look at that stupid party he's at.
Oh, I know.
With a sliding glass door, some cheap apartment complex.
I know it. In that shirt.
They got a kegger, and I think they got a bunch of food.
I know, and he's looking completely clueless.
Man, I want to chow down. I haven't eaten all day. Gotta go over there and have a couple of brewskis on the kegger. I just nice a little bit.
He's such...
See, they got some good-looking broads over there.
This guy is so blank.
Who will he choose? Zora or Sarah? I've got a really, really hard decision. Joe Millionaire, Monday at 9 on Fox 2.
Got a really hard decision.
He's so blank in the face.
Hey, Mike, is that TiVo'd?
His eyes are so dead.
Oh, shoot. What is wrong with our TiVo?
I don't know. It's not working out.
Look at his photograph of his eyes. His eyes are so dead.
I know.
Nobody home. Nobody home.
Listen to this Charlie story. This will surprise you.
Yeah, I thought I had Charlie pegged.
Charlie is a day trader.
Really?
Which is an extremely high-risk investment program. Lost his ass day trading. Exactly the opposite of what I would have thought. I would have thought this guy would have some conservative job, be an investor or a investment banker or something,
I don't know
or a
exactly
lawyer.
what. But something that would have a lot of job security and...
He lost $40,000 day trading last year and drove his girlfriend nuts, bitching about how much money he lost.
Oh.
I soon realized Charlie wasn't going to be the love of my life. He talked on and on about cars, made derogatory remarks toward women. He needed to grow up. He's into partying and having a good time.
Wow.
This was going to be a serious relationship.
Cool.
Friends say he was an unemployed, unsuccessful day trader, party hound, not looking to settle down. One ex-girlfriend said he broke into her email account to spy on her emails.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's freaky.
Well, the only thing...
That is scary.
Let's see, the only sign we've seen of anything is where he's very adamant about the fact that he's the only one that can have sex with her. And if she's considering anyone else to have sex with, he is out.
Right.
So in some ways, he has that rust streak in him, that sort of possessive, you have to be mine or else.
This other chick said he slept with her 2 nights before he left for the Bachelorette.
I get people off. I look for the one guy who isn't getting off, and I make him get off.
He looks like a real womanizer and a guy that would be, instead of partying with the guys and all that sort of thing, though, he seems like he'd always have a date, always be out with some chick.
He's not part of that group, that Bob group, the guys that have so much fun.
Yeah.
You can tell those are the guys who are the decent guys. None of the ones she picked.
Right.
The guys that wanted to hang out and have fun, that weren't all hung up on, who's going to get the slut.
Right.
The guys that are competitive is like they don't want anything to do with the other guys because they're so serious about the competition.
Yeah, those guys, that was just like a bachelor party to them. I'm surprised they didn't order a stripper.
Oh, he told Trista, yeah, I know, wouldn't that have been funny?
Yeah, when Trista's gone on her dates, I thought that they would have brought in a stripper.
And she would have been pissed.
Oh, yeah.
He told Trista an ex-girlfriend he loved deeply broke his heart. She cheated on him. Inquired track on Charlie's ex-girlfriend. She says that's a big fat lie. Molly Abrazani dated Good Time Charlie for a year. She worked as a bartender. It's a total lie. When Charlie and I started to date, I didn't want to make Charlie jealous of my friendship with another guy. I even introduced him to her. He broke into her email to get emails that she wrote back and forth to this guy who she wasn't sleeping with.
Broke into her email?
Yeah.
No, that is really a drag.
Now they tracked down another ex-girlfriend. She says there's nothing real about his reality TV appearance. Sean Codrea, a 34-year-old medical salesperson, said, I spent the night making love with Charlie 2 days before he left to go on The Bachelorette. Told me he was going on the show to get attention. He wanted to be a model. This would be great exposure.
Oh!
He's been out of work for several months. He called me a few times since the show has ended. One time he wanted me to come over to a bar and watch The Bachelorette with him. So Charlie's a big kid who doesn't want to grow up. His parents spoiled him. He needs to find a job.
Oh, brother. He's the failure within the family.
What a tool.
Oh, man. Well, I didn't see that. He fooled me.
You know Tracy Gold, the girl from...
Oh, yeah.
Was she in Growing Pains?
Yep.
Yeah. She was anorexic. I mean, really bad anorexic. Well, she's over anorexia, and I think
she's gone the opposite direction.
She might be a little heavy. I hate to
Well, you
say
can't
it,
tell her
but-
that because she'll go nuts and end up anorexic again.
I'm not going to say anything, but...
Oh, I will. She's huge. She's a monster. She's a heifer.
I don't think she's a code red.
Oh, no, Drew. She's a walrus on a rock off the California coast.
That's just one extended calf. There's no...
Oh, listen. If this woman was sunning herself on a rock, people with their binoculars would think it was a seal.
I would say the debate over whether she's still anorexic is over. Because they reference there that they're debating whether the anorexia is over. I would say we can close that debate.
And with the increased weight, her boobs haven't gotten any larger, you know?
She's a little thick in the body.
Yeah, I know, it's too bad.
I think your boobs would have swelled a little bit, but...
Here's the other reality TV story. Aaron Berge, this ass, he is banging some kindergarten teacher in Missouri. And Helene, he was still with Helene, still engaged, and totally is, the whole television thing has gone to his head. He's out of control.
I'll
He's
bet.
He thinks he's the hottest thing.
Yep. See, all these people are just, oh, man, they're really getting messed up mentally.
This kindergarten teacher dumped her boyfriend of 4 years and began secretly dating Aaron after he became a TV celebrity.
Oh, boy.
He and Helene had a fight in public in her hometown in front of a barber shop. A bunch of people witnessed it.
Oh,
and it's because he wanted to leave town before New Year's Eve so he could spend New Year's Eve at Trolley's.
Oh, him and that stupid Trolley's.
I know.
Remember
Cut
when
it out.
we were first introduced to that place? He must have said Trolley's like 30 times in that segment.
And Mini-Me, they've got Mini-Me going into a liquor store 6 weeks after rehab.
Mini-Me. Just hang it up with Mini-Me.
Mike, he has a Mercedes CLK 320. He has like a $100,000 Mercedes.
Shut up, little man.
And he was on a plane. He caused a disturbance on a plane because his friend was trying to get him to not order a mimosa. I know what I'm doing. And he was spotted on January 20th. The day these pictures were taken at 4 p.m., Vern was at Oaks Liquor Store in Sun Valley, California, where the clerks, after he left, said, he's in here all the time buying beer.
You're carding me? Wow. It's been so long since I got carded.
No doubt in his yellow sunglasses.
Yep.
All the sexual adventures, remember with him?
I don't ask to check your green card, pal.
Come on, Mini-Me.
They put the stress detector on that Scott Peterson, the missing pregnant wife in California. Failed. They say he is lying his ass off. They say this test that they put on his interview with Diane Sawyer is more accurate than a lie detector, and he is consistent as can be lying.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Well, there you go. The voice stress analyzer.
On to Michael Jackson, or back to Michael Jackson, and the complaint against him back in 1993 from a 13-year-old California child, Jordan Chandler. I, as a plaintiff, was born January 11, 1980, so I would have been 13 in 93. I'm 13. I'm currently in the 8th grade. I first met Michael Jackson when I was 5 at a restaurant that my mother, stepfather, and I often went to. In May of 92, I met Michael again at my stepfather's car rental business, Rent-A-Wreck. My stepfather called me and told me, Michael Jackson's here. Come down and see him. Later, I learned from my stepfather that Michael Jackson's car had broken down. He was at Rent-A-Wreck to get another car while his was being repaired.
Rent-A-Wreck?
How weird. I don't know.
Maybe it was where his car broke down.
You would think you'd have, 50 more cars to replace it with.
After I met Michael Jackson, he began calling me on the telephone from May of 92 until February 93 when I first spent the weekend with him at Neverland. I received many telephone calls. For at least part of this time, Michael Jackson was on tour. He'd call me from various places. These conversations would last up to 3 hours. Remember when he said he'd call that kid Gavin?
Right.
Oh, we talk late at night, or
Yes.
sometimes up very late.
Yes.
We talked about video games, Neverland Ranch, water fights, and famous
water
people
fights?
that he knew, yeah.
The water fights? Uh-huh.
February 93, my mother Lily, my half-sister, and I went to Neverland at the invitation of Michael Jackson. 3 of us stayed together in the guest area. I did not spend the night with Michael Jackson.
Oh, man, did Jackson have his sights on that kid? Whoa.
This was a weekend trip. Next trip, I spent the entire weekend with Michael Jackson. We went on jet skis in a small lake he had, saw the animals that he kept at Neverland, played video games, went on golf cart rides. One evening, he took Lily and me to Toys R Us. We were allowed to get anything we wanted. Although the store was closed, it was open just for our visit. In March, Las Vegas, as a guest of Michael Jackson, we flew on a private airplane. We stayed at a large suite at the Mirage. Oh, gross. He stays at the Mirage? I love the Mirage. My mother and Lily shared a bedroom. Michael and I stayed at the Mirage for about a week. One night, we watched The Exorcist in Michael Jackson's bedroom. When the movie was over, I was scared. He suggested I spend the night with him.
Oh.
Which I did. Although we slept in the same bed, there was no physical contact. From that time, whenever Michael Jackson and I were together, we slept in the same bed. We spent 2 or 3 additional nights in the same bed at Las Vegas. Again, there was no physical contact. After I returned from Vegas, my friendship with Michael Jackson became much closer. My mother, Lily, and I started making frequent trips to Neverland. What a stupid mother.
You
What
see?
an idiot.
That's your final gatekeeper.
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to Vegas on a private jet this weekend.
I know it. See, there you go. See, again, the parents, that's the only stopgap that you have is the parents.
Do it slow. Let's make this party last a while.
Nobody else is going to be able to stop this guy.
I also slept in bed with Michael Jackson at my house and at hotels in New York, Florida, and Europe. We were together until our relationship ended in July of 93. I wonder who broke up with who.
Yeah. Yeah.
During our relationship, Michael Jackson and I had sexual contact on many occasions.
On many occasions.
Ignorant fool.
I wonder what went wrong.
He probably hit puberty.
Yeah. I think his stepfather found out, actually. I think that's what happened.
And tripped it.
Funny how the mother would care less than the stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
Physical contact between Michael Jackson and myself increased gradually. The first step was, I can't read that word, Michael Jackson hugging me. The next step was for him to give me a brief kiss on the cheek. Then he started kissing me on the lips. First briefly and then for longer periods of time. Ugh.
Oh, gross.
He would kiss me while we were together in bed.
Oh.
The next step was when Michael Jackson put his tongue in my mouth.
Oh, no. Oh.
BS. They made it up.
Oh.
You.
Man.
I told him I did not like that. Michael Jackson started crying.
Oh, he started crying. See, there you go. There you go.
What?
See, when things don't go his way.
Actual audio of Michael Jackson being rejected.
See, just like last night in those chemos.
Why do you do this to me?
He hides behind those fake tears. Oh, that is so gross.
He said there was nothing wrong with it. He said just because most people believe something is wrong doesn't make it so.
You see, there you go.
Again, reading the deposition from the law office of Fogel, Feldman, Ostrov, Ringler, and Clevens, Santa Monica, California. The attorneys who represented, what's his name, Jordy Chandler.
See, it started with a hug, contact like that. And again, the kid last night, the holding of hands.
Oh, God.
The child up against his body like
and
that during the interview.
He does this knowing the entire nation is watching and knowing, as he said to this kid, just because most people believe something wrong doesn't make it so, because he wants to do it, because he gets everything he wants.
Right.
He is the ultimate prima donna celebrity, spoiled ass celebrity, spoiled since the day he got $200,000 checks when he was 12 years old, as he pointed out last night.
And he was saying the same thing last night, the business of,
he knows this is wrong. He's not out in left field as you might have you believe. Oh, he really doesn't know any better. It's fun. It's so weird. How can he not know?
Everybody else is
He tells
ignorant.
this kid.
Yeah, we're all ignorant.
And he told us all last night because he doesn't believe anyone will do anything about it. And they haven't.
No, they
all
haven't.
do is write another check.
And listen, look at the comfort level that he has with that child and that child with him that we saw. I mean, that suggests to me that there's a lot of touching going on. I mean,
the
they're
kid
very
had
at
his head on his
home.
shoulder.
And look how the comfort level. It's fine.
No,
It's happened
no.
a million times. You can tell that.
Where in the Constitution, since everyone wants to cite the Constitution or everything, where in the Constitution does it say that you can pay money to make people not testify for things? I don't know. How did we reach that point where if you had enough money, you could just pay another person and then they wouldn't come forward with whatever charges there were? I mean, what kind of a legal system is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, back to his little sucky face.